Today we're going to talk about how to expose Slog2 perfectly. There's a lot of questions about if you overexpose one stop or two stops, or do you expose to the right, or why is my footage grainy. So I'm going to try to answer all those questions today with a definite answer. I'm going to show you how to nail the exposure every time, and I'm going to give you a free conversion LUT to transform your footage from S-Log to a normal looking footage. I'm going to cover examples of high contrast scenes, low contrast scenes, and skin tones, as well as some backlit situations as well. For the first shot, I exposed it based on the camera metering. So if this wasn't shot in S-Log, this is what the camera will consider correct. Now if you look at the footage, you can see that it's completely underexposed. If you try to grade this footage, it's going to come out completely grainy and it's going to look horrible. This is a high contrast scene, so there's a lot of bright areas as well as some darker areas around the houses and the trees. So based on what we see here, obviously exposing it normally like you would any other footage won't work. Now let's move on to using the camera's built-in zebras. We're going to set the zebras to 95 IRE. IRE is an old scale that was created to measure the ability to display things on old TVs. So 0 IRE is completely black and 100 IRE is completely pure white. So by setting the zebras to 95 IRE, we know that anytime the zebra shows up on the screen, that area is beyond 95 IRE, which means it's overexposed. With that being said, I'm going to increase the exposure as bright as we can without any zebras popping up. Now if you look at the metering on the camera, it's blinking +2, which means we're beyond 2 stops overexposed at the moment. But based on the zebras, we know that we're not overexposed. Now when you apply the correction LUT and do your color grade, the footage looks much better than it did when we exposed it normally. And for the most accurate way to expose Slog2, we want to use false color. All false color does is take that IRE scale from 0 to 100 and apply colors to them. That way we can look at the image and know exactly the exposure level of every object in the frame. Now the monitor that I'm using is the FieldWorld MA5, and if you look on the right side, you will see a scale that tells me exactly what each color represents on the IRE scale. So if we go back to the original exposure that the camera said was correct, and you look at the IRE scale on the false color, you will see that everything in the image is within the 10 to 40 range. So the false color shows that we are nowhere near overexposing anything in the image. Now as we increase the exposure, you can see how the colors change, and we're going to go all the way up till it shows red, which is 100 IRE, which means that area is overexposed. So if you dial that back just a little bit until nothing shows red again, you have a perfect exposure. This pretty much confirms what the zebra showed us earlier. The results are pretty much identical. Now if we look at a low contrast scene, this is what the camera shows as a proper exposure. And if I turn on a false color to check it, you can see that of course you're underexposed. So once again, don't trust the camera meter. Now if I turn on the zebras, I can see that some of the sky poking through the trees is overexposed. Now for this situation, that's fine because the sky is not really our main part of the shot. But the problem is, I don't know what the exposure level for everything else in the scene is. Now if we check the false color, we can see that most of the shot can be exposed brighter because nothing is about to be blown out besides the sky. So I'm going to continue to raise the exposure until something that's prominent in the scene is about to be overexposed. Now we have an even better exposure, and that's one of the benefits of false color over zebras. You have all of the information instead of just some of it. Now this is even more important when it comes down to getting the right exposure on people. The problem is that skin tones on people fall around the 60 to 70 IRE range. You can't just push the exposure on skin tones like you can most other things. So if we look at this scene with the camera proper exposure, it's underexposed like always. The false colors confirm that. Now using the zebras, I did allow some of the sky to be overexposed because the sun is in that area, and since he's being backlit, I was okay with that. So besides this shot being out of focus, the exposure is pretty good. Now if we look at the false color, the 60 to 70 range on my monitor is light gray. Most of his face in this shot is green, so I know that I have room to push the exposure even higher to get his skin tones in the proper range. Now to do that for this shot, I had to blow the sky completely out, and it's not really a bad thing in this shot since the sky was already like gray and nasty looking anyway, but if it was a blue sky or something like that, then it probably wouldn't have been that overexposed. The goal in these situations is to find a balance between the two. You don't want to overexpose things too far just to keep the skin tones in the right range, but you also don't want to underexpose the skin too far just to protect the highlights. Find a good balance between the two where it's an acceptable level, because when you go into editing, you can always bring down the highlights or bring up the shadows a bit. So you have a little room of freedom to work with. Just make sure it's as close as possible, and you make sure you make the right compromises in the right areas. Now here's a low contrast shot, and you can see that his skin is properly exposed because it's gray, which means it's in that 60 to 70 RE range. Now if he wasn't in this scene, then I would probably bring the exposure up higher because nothing is at the clipping level. But since a person is in the shot, we're going to make sure that the skin tones are proper. You don't have to push the exposure to get the rest of the scene as bright as possible if the skin tones are right where they need to be. His skin tones are fine and nothing is overexposed, so just let everything else fall where it may. Now if you've been keeping track of what I've been saying about the IRE levels, then you can say that why don't I just put the zebras to 70 IRE and that'll show me if my skin tones are properly exposed. That's true, so let's do that. The zebras are set to 70 IRE and they are showing up on his face, which means that I know that his face is around 70 IRE. But what about the rest of the scene? The zebras let me know that his face is properly exposed, but I don't know anything about the rest of the scene. I don't know how bright the sky is. I don't know if anything else might be clipping. So zebras only tell me part of the story, and they'll get you close most of the time, but nothing can beat the false color. Now checking the false color, I can see that his skin is indeed in the 70 IRE range, and there's just a little bit of yellow on his nose, and the sky is slightly overexposed in one area. That means that the zebras did get us close enough, but if we would have used false color, then we probably would have took it down just a little bit. So what have we learned? Yes, most likely you're going to end up overexposing by at least 2 stops. But the problem with that is that's extremely vague because it varies from situation to situation. Using zebras can get you very close majority of the time, and if you don't have an external monitor, using zebras is definitely the way to go. And of course, using false colors would be the best way to go because it gives you all the information you need all the time so you can make the perfect decision in every shot. I've linked the monitor that I use down below, as well as the link for the conversion LUT to get your log footage back to a normal looking footage. If you expose the clip correctly, then you should be able to just drop the LUT on the clip or an adjustment layer and go on about your color grading as you would normally do. I hope this video was helpful. Please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.